Good morning to everybody. So now today MMPH002 Human Resource Development. So today I have to cover unit number such unit 10, unit number 10 of third block, and unit number 11 of fourth block that I will try to cover up today. So HRD in industrial relations, where the things are to be discussed, that's defining the industrial relations, then defining the HRD and organizational development, then HRD and organizational development and IR industrial relations linkages, what the way it is linkage, and pressure for changes, what type of changes are there, need for the integration of HRD and IR, development approach to industrial relations, and some prerequisites for a successful HRD organizational development approach to industrial relations, and developmental mechanisms for improving industrial relations. This is one of the area are worldwide very much required, because somewhere it is written or declared as a employee-employer relations, or you can say there are industrial relations. Traditionally, that's in the industrial relations, but it is here actually the what are the employee and the employer relationships. And through HRD, how much HRD are involved, that is the part that we discuss. HRD in industrial relations. That is the unique topics are things. So, as a industrial relations in India are equipped with a collective bargaining, interpretations of rules, labor laws, court cases, problem of indiscipline, etc. So there are some sort of rules and regulations are there. All these rules and regulations are formulated by the discussion with your unions, the employee-employer representatives through this bargaining process and some of the interpretation process. Then they have collectively they have decided which rules are suited for this for the laborers, and which are the beneficial and welfare for the laborers, as well as to see the growth of the organizations. So altogether, that industrial relations are not in a one-man job; it is a joint, collaboratively have been decided. The industrial relations functions that suffer from lack of planning, absence of policies and strategies, and short of any long-term perspectives. Here, actually, try to emphasize the things that in that industrial, what are the functions that basically the planning is not good. That's why sometimes the relations are not good. Absence of policies, should be a solid policy should be there, and some solid strategies in the future course of actions, and that strategy should be short terms and long terms perspectives. Unfortunately, both HRD and IR have been considered as different functions, and there has been little attempt both by the academicians and the practitioners to see the relevance of HRD to manage industrial relations functions in a proactive manner. Here you see, basically HRD as the main prime goal is to develop the human resources. What are the human resources that at most uh, uh, means focus on to develop the employees, to develop their competency, so that they can fulfill their objectives, individual objectives, and for company activities, and that skill should be built up enough so that in the future they can take any responsibility, any type of decision making process, they can independently they can do it. So that type of development is there. And parallelly, you see, the industrial relations are the relation between the employee and employer. Until and unless we are not a good relations, not understanding to each other, not communicating in proper way between the employee and employer. What are the objectives by the company or by the employer? That is not downloaded, but that is not forecasted rightly to the, and it is not reached to the through this union or some representative up to the uh, employee, then some gap will be developed. So uh, ultimately, that most of the cases we are totally seeing in a different way. HRD, okay, training program is there, okay, training is going on. Through this calendar, schedule has been prepared, different things going on. But we're not collaboratively integrated way. We are not seeing these things. The HRD and HR are the basically the common functions. We are definitely we are always think about most of the cases. It's a different functions. Uh, in an islanding way, I mean individually they are working. Some sort of um, linkages, some sort of link. That's why the says the subject is focused on some of the things. We have to identify, we have to see HRD and ID, IR linkages and audio also. All these things we have to see parallelly in an integrated way. Your HRD, operation development, and IR. So all three functions are not to be seen as a different, it should be as a common. So all these practitioners in the industry and as well as the academicians are to be work it at a in a joint venture, collaboratively, and in a very proactive manner. That is the third point as described. Now, defining the industrial relations. An industrial relation system, according to Dunlop, he says at any one time in its development is regarded as comprised certain actors, certain contexts, and ideology which binds the industrial relation systems. So it is comprised. Basically, the in regards to development, some ideology are to be fixed, some certain contents should be there, then we can develop some of the good systems. So industrial relation functions suffers from lack of planning as we have the absence of policies and needs. So in addition to their obvious conflict of the interest, the parties in industrial relations have many interests, standards, and the values of the common which they neither bring to industrial relations from the wider society or develop once they have involved in industrial relations. To emphasize on the facet is to deny that stability and instability, conflict and the cooperation have equal claim to the investigations. So this is the way the importance are emphasized here. What are the importance that has been described? Now, defining the HRD and organizational development. HRD is mainly concerned, as we have already I've said already, that HRD is mainly the concern with developing competencies in a technical, managerial, and behavioral. The three aspects normally we have decided any employee, any level of positions. The three things are required. Technically, it should be some managerial skills. It should be and behavioral also. So, in a level wise, the degree of competencies are will be different. Just depending the level in the those who are in the frontliners. I mean, those who are directly involved with the product or selling with the work. Definitely, their technical and behavioral competencies should be more rather than the managerial. But when the middle management or the managerial levels, they should have a skill of managerial skill should be more and technical and behavioral as well. The proportionately they should be more. And in the top level and high level, there are managerial skills required more rather than technical skill because they are the strategy maker. So that type of skill is required. So this is the way in an organization process. So uh, HRD are formulated. I mean, the different training program or different development program they have decided level wise, and they are keeping on view of the three skills set up. That is the technical, managerial, and behavioral. Now, the next point is the typical mechanism for the facilitating the HRD in organizations are performed. This is one of the apprentices training, feedback, performance counseling, organization development, employees welfare and quality of the work lives. So all three things, the mechanisms are to be derived with the one, as I said, that all the areas are typical areas which are contributed in the HID in organizations. Now, operational development is a practice field which is based on the discipline of the organizational behavior, psychology, and administrative science. There are areas. This is the field of the area in the organizational development. Number one, your organizational behavior. That is the one of the area. Then psychology, you have to see in part, psychology in part of their behavior patterns, their competency, everything are falling under these things. And administrative science altogether. It developed a new behavioral science, finding about the employee motivations and organizations were applied by the managers to solve the organizational problems like poor communications, inadequate integrations, low commitment, and inadequate employee development. So there are some of the areas where it will be applied for the to solve the problems. Areas are there. This is all are under the behavioral sciences because you see um, what are the problems are there is almost related to behavioral sciences are the but there are like a poor the communications. So definitely communications are also you have to see why he has not able to communicate properly. Maybe the lack of the language or maybe some other aspect. Integration part low commitment. He has not maybe he has not motivated properly. So that's why that commitment, sense of responsibility, sense of belonging are maybe the lacking. So all these things are the area, okay, which are to be looked and to be developed. Now, HRD, OD, and IR linkages. As I told you, all the three areas. When you are individually the order functions, when you have to see them together, how what type of approaches are there? HRD approaches focuses on developing the human resources, their competencies, motivation, and organizational culture that facilitate the both that here you see everything are part of your HRD part is there, operation development there, and IR is there. because when the organization culture is involved, means motivational culture is part of um, uh, your organization development and as well as the industry relations also. So industrial technological changes, strategic shifts, human process changes, etc. Industry relations is a specialized function that evolved to protect the interest of the organizations as well as that of the working classes. Why these areas vital now? Why this area is really important? Because of the technological changes. Lot of technical changes are going on. So in that case, it will affect in the human mind, human culture, human work, style of work, everything are affecting the technological because of the technical changes. Means they have to upgrade the things, knowledge wise and otherwise also. And another thing that strategic shifts also another aspect because strategically lot of things are going on because of the growth of the company and future of the company or in a survival mode. So a lot of international competencies also there. So strategically a lot of shifting is going on. Um, so and all these part are ultimately that's why these functions are very much specialized persons are required to cope up these situations, and that's why it is evolved how to protect the interests of the organizations and as well the working classes. Now the company focuses on the HRD is on the people. The primary focus on the organizational development is on the organizational capabilities. And the primary focus on the industrial relations is on the protection of the interest of the labor and management in a balanced way. So everything should be balanced. So interest of the laborers and interest of the management has to be properly balanced. Otherwise, again the conflict will start. Management will decide it. There will be more focus on the profit. If the profit margin is not up to the mark, then definitely the audit where tension and stress will be built up. Accordingly, parallelly, the labor situations also they are thinking their welfare, their salary package are not up to the market levels. So okay, there's some difference will create and stress will be built up. So it should be a balance. So you have to focus on who will decide all these things. That's why the HRD are the main prime duty to see the people's and their primary focus on the organizational development also and to build up their capacities. So there is a lot that the HRD and OD can contribute in the area of industrial relations. Now it is coming to the point where the linkages where now I try to focus on this. Now from the above facts, we can conclude that there is a lot of HRD can contribute and organizational development they can contribute the area of industrial relations. If the relations is good, other problems will be really easy to solve out. Now the pressure for the changes need for that's why the need for integration of the HRD and IR. So managers are becoming increasingly dissatisfied with the traditional industrial relations policies, which are normally static and are based on the safety of law versions and the fear of unions. Because all the time you see when some steps are likely to be taken by the managers, he thinking twice. Because if he implement the things, if he try to apply some of the things, maybe the union will come out, they have to protest the things. So so that's why sometimes the manager cannot take the right decisions because of the rules. The laws are binding things. So that's why there's some fear of unions also. So that area has to be minimized. That fear should not be there. It should be any open discussions. Managers can take decisions which are really unique decisions. They can take it strategically. So both way the employee and employer can be benefited. So all these aspects are so that pressure are there. And that's why the topic is saying the need for integrations. So some integration should be there, HRD and IR, and it, again it should be in the mini balanced way, so that union will be happy, management will also happy. That type of situation has to be created by the study. Changes that are relevant both the management and the union staff. So when the things are going on, so changes can be, suppose company is taking some of the changes, they are adding, they are forecasted some of the things. So whatever the ideas behind it, what are type of things are to be implemented, that definitely it will see that it is beneficial for the union or not, and as well as the beneficial for the management or not. So that part, that changes are really relevant or not, or abruptly as taken by the decision by the management, it should not be. So observe and decided by the both. Some of the changes that are relevant, both the management and unions are. Now I have to try to show you some of the, what are the changes. Emergence of new technology is one of the areas, and the march towards the computerizations in creating new pressure on the management as well as the unions. Most of the industries you see nowadays are trying to optimizations, and for the computerizations are going on, because to compete in the market, and what are the resources, available resources, optimum utilization of the resources, and human resource management, optimum utilizations, 100% that they are trying to. So that's why some of the supporting tools, supporting mechanisms is required. So that's why the new technology are demanding to computerize your organizations. So that sometimes is creating the new pressure on the management as well as the unions, because the traditionally all are expert. Some of the employee, uh, those who are in the part of the union also, so they are sometimes reluctant. Resistance will come. Any changes, it is a general phenomena. Resistance will come because it will be knowingly, it will be unknowingly. So it is human nature. So initially, so that's why there's some negotiations, counseling, discussions, required collaborative, and through this bargaining process, we have to select some of the relevant areas where really it is required for the both, and that way some win-win situations are to be created, so that things are to be properly implemented. Happy, when she is happy, everybody can accept the things. In future, there should not be any conflict, or participation will be interesting. So that way we can reduce the new pressure. The new worker is causing anxiety to both management and unions. So those are the new workers, they have to surprise, they don't know what to do. So anxiety will build up, both in the management and new managers joined, or maybe just new workers joined. So they are also in that dilemma, that situation they are to deal all these things. So frugality of the and legendary mechanisms are now well appreciated both the management and unions in terms of delays with the problem solving. So there are some to get a full fruitful results, and what about the lagging or red tag decision making process which are not taken properly. So some mechanism should be there so that they can take some appropriate decision they can take, and which is in terms of management and union terms. What are the delay that problem are to be solved. So sometimes mistrust and the cost of the legislative process that can be to be avoided. So there is a challenge. Basically, all these changes are, I can say, these are all the challenges, the area to be seen. Now, some innovative personal practices, and the quality of work life programs practiced by many organizations and their impact on the improved business performance. Pressure, another thing, the pressure from the government for worker participation in management. That is also one of the aspect because some of the decision process worker are not participating, or maybe they are not allowing to participate in the management decision process. So that time some of the I mean, it may not be a practice the particular organizations. So it will create a lot of problems within the unions, within the workers, because of the awareness and because of the not flow the informations, what basically which are the decisions are taken by the management or under the process of this management decision process. So involvement and the participation of the workers representative, not all, are very much required to reduce that type of pressures. So point is the pressure is coming from the government because the policies are different, policies are there. Even some of the government is implemented some of the um, rules or policies that is not well versed or may not be discussed with the union also. So before implementing by the management of the organizations, they have to discuss with the union and though they have to involve properly to start this process to start this government project or rules. So this is another the pressures is needed. What I actually here try to emphasize is the what the way the HRD and industrial relations where we are lacking, why it is not integrated. So this is the what the functions individually both are functioning, but it is not enough. It is not enough. Somehow it is integration is very much required to create a new idea or in a very good manner. That is the idea. So now another thing, the competence is building in the major actors in the industrial relations, like the management at the different hierarchy levels, and the unions at the different hierarchical levels, and key government officials concerned with these aspects. Here, some of the approaches, discussing some of the approaches, how to develop the industrial relations, and what are the competencies in all levels are to be combined and to taking care of these all these things. The government officials also concerned, then your management different hierarchy levels persons are also concerned, and your major active actors of the industrial relations they are also concerned. So it is just like a team as a team you have to take care. So development of the processes, uh, fostering the optic valuation. That's one of the valuations that stand for actually. In the last slides, in the last session slides, I have discussed. Uh, see, Octopac, that is it stands for O stands for the openness, P for your productions, and C for your confrontations, A for autonomy, T for trust, and C for your collaborations, and lastly the A for the authenticity, competencies, B. So that is in short, we can abbreviate it in that way it stands. October. Here you see the when you are see the particular word meaning openness. So it is clear where the employee employer all are involved and their decisions or ideas are well taken care and they can also raise their voice also. Full participation. Then the openness. And the organizer is also workman or union also has to be clear viewpoints. They have to put up the management. This is the things they can also put up their ideas so that management should know where they are and what are the things that are going on in their mind, in their union mind. That has to be come out. And that's it. then they can take the right right way. They can take the things for the benefit of all. Proactions is important because actions um, before implementing the or finalize the actions, some proactions is required basically by the discussions only, and it should be tabulated, and what are the things has to be highlighted before implementing things. And definitely some confrontation is also required, that has to be there, and it may for the good for the company. Then autonomy has to be given. Who are the responsible, and some sort of accountability are also there. Trust is also a very important part of trust, because without trust, it cannot successfully you can implement it in collaborations. So as a team, you have to work to see stand for collaboration. And authenticity of the competencies. What are the competencies are these that should be authenticated? Yes, right. Yes, really competent now. Some authentication is also. It may be certified, or maybe some consultants should come, and some counseling through this counseling, and some super authority has to be seen and declared. Yes, the he has really built up this competencies are at par with the things. So that type of certification award are to be authenticated. Then only you can say it is. Now, development of middle management is also another thing. Competencies building at the management would mean uh, uh, the knowledge about the rules of the workplace. Because what you are doing, what is your doing the day-to-day work, that knowledge you have or not. So as a manager, that knowledge you should be knowledgeable, and all the rules you are following or not. That awareness of the rules are also, especially in the particularly workplace, uh, uh, that has to be uh, known by the manager, especially for the middle manager. Understanding about the customs and the practices in relation to dealing with the employees and the unions. Carefully understand the things, and what are the customs are there, and what are the practices that is in relation to dealing with that is also clearly says. Knowledge about the legal framework of the industrial relations. So uh, all this legal aspect we clearly understand, and it should be and know how to implement the things. That framework has to be clear. Knowledge about his history and background of the union and union leaderships in the organizations. These are all are part are essential part for the development of the in terms of the middle management. The knowledge about the emerging environment scenario, practices in other industries, etc. So you should have a knowledge also other things emerging. What are the emerging environment are coming? That's maybe it may be external or internal. That practices are also. But other industries, what the way they are implementing the things and how much they are success. So that part, that sort of knowledge should middle management should be aware of all these things. Now regarding the skills in diagnosis of the problems and tools for the diagnosis thing. So skills are required. How to analyze that analysis part are very important. Based on the diagnosis only you can see the what are the problems. You can identify the problems, and maybe but maybe it may require some of the tools for the diagnosis. Skills in the resolution of the grievances. What are the grievances? Grievances obviously maybe in a short-term grievances or long-term grievances, or it may be a short period type of. So grievances has to be addressed as and when required, and as early as possible to give the solution, and it should be clear the grievances to remove. Basically, the complaint should not be there. Complaint, what are the complaint that should be readdressed and with a good motive, with a good motive that all these grievances are solved. So that type of skills are required. How to manage the grievances, how fast, how quickly you are resolve these grievances process. That skills are very much required in the organization. So all these things are part of your our talking about the HRD in practice. And I think in practice, we are seeing is all in practical part. Negotiations. So you should be expert on your negotiation skills because unions, maybe they are different opinions, different philosophy, different ideology, or but as a skill consultant or as a skill manager, your duty as to see the both the things from the benefit of the employee and the benefit of the employer, where you are working, where you are getting the salaries. So negotiation is one of the very important things to again put them in the mainstreams. So good negotiators are always appreciable because as a manager, you should have a good negotiation skills. It's one of the prior requirement as a manager. Interpersonal skills, because interpersonal skills not only within your department, within your subordinates, I'm talking about as a manager, managerial minimum and mid level, what are things. Apart from that, other departments, other sections, what the way you are dealing, the dealing or your behaving patterns, how much you are develop the relationships. That's you can call it interpersonal skills as to now attitudes. Orientation to positive problems solving. Always have to orientate should be a positive solving. Another B is your positive belief systems about the unions and their existence. So you always have to keep in mind when you start discussion or negotiations or any type of problem solving process. So one belief system should be in mind. Yes, we can do it, and definitely we can success or we can uh, give us some solutions, right solutions as early as possible. But that type of belief or trust each other very much both union and as well as the companies. That both the way some belief system has to be developed. You know, okay, in future it will be bright, no problem. So there should not be any negativity or negative words. Challenge or whatever the challenges that we can jointly we can do this and we can face the problems. That type of belief uh, systems have been created. Faith in participative mechanisms. So that and faith is also important. Yes, you can do it and you can participate in these things. So it may be through these general meetings, it may be open forums or maybe the openness. You can, through this workshop also, there are things you can develop slowly. There is participative mind and they can trust to each others. They can depend to each others. Yes, we can jointly do it. So there are no basic difference between the workman and the manager. So ultimately, the focus on the benefit of the company. And if the company is profitable, or company is healthy, or company is growing, so everybody will be benefited. So that type of mechanisms, faith mechanism has to be created. Some of the prerequisites for the successful HRD would be approaches. Policy, philosophy, and values underlining in its actions. Agreed policies, non-meddling in the internal dynamics of the Indian, etc. Proactive and the general and geared to problem solving. Delegation of powers at the different hierarchical level. Internal personal skills, accountability for better human resource management. There are out of the important point for a successful HRD is given. These are all prerequisite things. It definitely should be there. So out of that, I can more trust on these things. There's a proactive and get the problem solved. So proactive is many things. If you stay accurately, one step, definitely you can. First step is very important. So 50% you can achieve. Delegation of power is also important because if you are not delegated the power, they are not taking much responsibility. So responsibility is coming from the delegation of the power. In every hierarchy level, as manager, they should be defining what power he has and how to utilize these powers. So first, delegation of the power has to be streamlined and should be defined, clear. Interpersonal skill, no doubtly, is important and accountable. So all these points are very good for the successful of the teacher. Now, policy philosophy and understanding agreed policies and accountability. There should be another thing is no ambiguities. Just add on one of the things that is you. No ambiguity should be there. If the ambiguity will be there, maybe the small ambiguities, one I think the point can be creating very big issues. So ambiguity is as early as possible to be resolved in a very top priority because it may grow in future. And when it is growing, this ambiguities, it may create it to be as a conflict will be more. So, and definitely pressure will come, stress will come, trust, faith, everything will be deteriorating, start deteriorating. So it is just like a, you can say the wastage of time, wastage of mindset. So try to be reduced as early as possible uh, to in this process. If you really want to success in that area, so that shouldn't be ambiguous. It may require 2 or 3 meetings, let it be. So sit together, communicate each other, try to solve all the problems as much as possible, and continue and kill it. Mean basically, what are the ambiguities? You just kill it. Kill means finish it up so that it should not be raised enough and in future also. Then only you have to kill it. Open-mindedness. There's a clearly things. Open-mindedness is very important. Recognitions of the part of the both management and the employees. So recognitions are another area for the success of not only HRD and this approach, it's any things. If when you are working somewhere, anything, the recognition is very much important. And definitely the recognition should be the is a part of the motivations. If you recognize somebody, yes, you are good, you are well done. So it may not be a salary, you cannot compare the salary and the positions or other things. So when it is recognized, some other different feelings will start in the mind. Okay, I already exist in this company. People are respect me. So recognition is always there. Workers and the unions should be prepared to give up restricted practices and adopt more flexible rules and recognize that such planned change is not likely to weaken their power. So one of the things that aspect the workers should be keeping in mind that in a single point of time, they should not feel what from the idea. Really, I will be benefited or not. It is I am losing on that kind of feeling should not. What are the changes is coming uh, for the work? You have to prepare and you have to do this. And what are the restricted practices? It is suppose some of the rule and policies given. Don't do this. Don't and do and don't. It is listed. So if it is listed, and policy is already defined. So please, you have to give up the things as much as possible to give up and see the list of do's what already prepared. So uh, all the workers and unions they follow this. So in a planned way, and you can feel that like in the weekends or uh, then coming in mind any sort of discrepancy not coming. Right practically a meeting between is only important sharing because when you are privately meetings is there. Always, if you avoiding the conflict, avoiding the meeting, then you not come up the solutions. Because to come up the solutions, to reach the solutions, definitely it will be required. And one meeting, one sitting may not be clear all the points. So at least there are 10 points are to be discussed, 10 points are differences are there. All these differences, problems, you can see to one by one have to clear it. It may be in the next meeting can be clear more. So slowly have to reach the particular. So information sharing is one of the important. That information sharing how definitely will require some meetings. Through this meeting only you can approach the things in a proper way. Joint survey, then tax your process, collaborative projects, training, grievances mechanisms, participative forums, counseling and research. These all are the different mechanisms here. You can improving your relationships, the industrial relationships. Okay, improve the things. These all are the mechanisms. So emerging trends in the participative. The business environment, you see, we have to look after the business environment also, which are really affect in our environment. So management challenge, what are the challenges are there? And training the HRD functions. So in a sectoral trends, the goal of HRD is to improve the performance of the organizations by maximizing the efficiency and performance of the people. Because only we can reach the goal of the HRD by only to efficiency, maximizing the efficiency and performance. There are two wing, we can say that we can do, both the wings are, you can fly more and more areas. If the one of the wing is not strong enough, then you cannot fly to reach this particular goal of the, which is set by the HRD. So both the wing are to be strong enough. The continuous development of the manpower assumes a significance to sustain the competitive advantage of the organizations, as people are the most important strategic resources of the organizations. It is a dynamic and the continuous process should be there for manpower development. But there are so many trainings and there, and sometimes the retraining is also because suppose some of the training you have taken for a 3 month or some training, maybe that 7 or 10 years before you have taken, based on that type of situations you have taken some of the training programs. Then okay, you can work fine, no problem. But because of the changes of technology or maybe some environment or because of the external environment or that training program which we have taken or company has already given to the particular level of the employees, it may not be fit for the present situations. So that case, again, it is required for the retraining with a advanced systems. So, so development for a manpower, it is a dynamic because continuous process. Today, what the people are trained, you cannot say it is a long run, you can be give a same output. It may not be the same efficiency, they can keep, continue. It not will be possible. So, to get a significance and sustain their energy or sustain to uh, power, I mean the efficiency to sustain the things, are to require some of the continuous development so that uh, competitive advantage can be achieved all the times. Uh, then people will be more strategic resources of the company. So you can say our resources are very important in terms of the strategy. Then they can achieve easily complete whatever the situation is there. They can easily understand that skill wise, their efficiency wise, the behavior wise, interpersonal, every all these aspects they can have it, as a commando force, just like one of the commando force. They can do anything, in any situations as come up. They are already skilled in various ways. So that is the idea of continuous development with manpower. Just assume the significant of sustain, then only you can sustain in the continuous progress and profitability can come out from it. The systems persists view of the HRD functions of an organizations as an integrations of the system and with the subsystems to approach the overall goal of the organizations. As I said, organizations interventions in the mapping the systems process activities of any organizations requires an understanding of the business environment which influences the business decisions in any organization. Here you have to map up. Means mapping means you have to idea before that the what are the activities of the organizations, and that all these activities are really in line with the other aspect or not. Really, it is considering the uh, business or business environment or not. If any loopholes or if any problems, really it is taken care or not. So, which are in most of the cases the business environment things are influencing your business issues. So that what are the things are influencing your business is all definitely the problem of creating the aspect. Immediately you have to identify and solve these things. So intervention, organization interventions in the mapping systems are very much needed. That only the process can be fruitful. Business environment again, business operations operated in a dynamic environment which has a direct influence on not only how they operate but also how they achieve their objectives. So this is one of the aspects. How they achieve their objectives. That has to be. Business leaders and the managers do a control over the internal environment, but to complete it successfully, they should scan the environment and shape their business according to the trends and possibilities of the given context. Suppose you are a manager of a particular section or particular department. You are very well controlling your subordinates internally. It is a internal environment you are very nicely you are handling. But for the successful integration, for the successful of the company, you have to have a you have to scan the other environment systems in the externally. You have to scan it. You have to see where the problems are going on. And really it is in the really shape your business, it is really affecting your shape of the business or not. And if it is not shaping properly, some problems are creating, then accordingly you have to change it. You have to redefine some of the things. Maybe from the point of objectives, maybe in the process problems, you have to rechange your some of the, remodify it, or re-engineering some of the areas so that you can cope up the external business environment of the external businesses. So I think there are yeah. So now there are also natural calamities and uncertainties like the pandemic impacting the business. As we know, during the COVID-19, what happened, everybody knows, and we have come across a lot of experience we have now during the lockdown period. What happened? Maybe a lot of things are exploring during these situations. A lot of startup has developed. So everything we have seen it. It is really several business are affected. As we know, this lockdown, several business are affected. Small and big alike, or big company or small company, everybody are affected to some extent. So most of which are slowly recovering, although the scientific doctors are not, scientists and doctors are not certain the long-term consequences. So the recovering time definitely will now slowing the things. And now today, as on today, at least 80 to 90% we can say we can survive. And now it is all right. Still, lot of things has to be has to be done. Lot of things. Business leaders and the managers do have a control over the internal environment, but to compete successfully, they should scan the environment and shape their business according to the trend and the perception of the things. So both the things are very much required to uh, for successful to run the company in a system. So economic environment now, see the economic environment, basically the business get influenced by the economic factors. The most economic influences due to various reasons influences the business and the individuals in many ways. As we are going on these situations, because the globally the economic growth has slowed down and a lot of the opportunities are not getting that much, or whatever the things that the most of the companies they have to cut the jobs and it's known to each other. So unemployment rates are rising in the towns. So because of the lot of economic environment are coming, so economy are one of the major part factors in this. So announcement of the government of the India reducing the interest rates on the home loans and the stimulus packages provided has helped the employees to stagger the loan payment and the loan already taken by or go for the loans to tide up over the crisis of the post-COVID situations. So that time, government has taken a lot of initiatives how to cope up these situations. So, for reducing one step has they have taken the reducing the interest. And if we say, apart from your government of India, apart from a lot of organizations also they have taken a lot of measures. They have given some 15 days salary. They have given in that period. Maybe 100 full salary is not possible. The 15 days salary they have given. That is also instructed by the government also. And other facilities they have given as a main which is required. Medical facilities are achieved. So that way, the situation has been covered up by the things. So it is all our economic environment part of these things, and it has come now worldwide. All the companies are facing the same problem, not in our country only. Every countries are economically they are facing. Still, we are in a better positions worldwide. The policy schemes announced by the government will also directly and indirectly affect the boost of the economic company activities. Uh, Manrega scheme of the government, one of the things, 100 days maintained. So there are the ways, lot of things are in the rural area, so that they should not be very hungry. I mean, they should at least they can get some food also. So this is the way that is. The supply and the demand of goods and services determine the prices as the quality of the quantity dictate the economic behavior of the free market. So from here you can see the concept of things. So what the way the idea is externally. Uh, what is the trends? That's why the block is the experiencing experiences and the trends in nature. So all this area, when the people are idle, not enough work is there. So most I know some of the organizations they have started in June. I mean, to this online process to train the people how to cope up these situations. Mentally, lot of psychological problem was disorder at time. Maybe the job loss or job cut or sitting in the idle in the home. So a lot of problems that they faced, and they have started a lot of activities through these things to involve the employees so that given more steps when the situation will be come over, and they should come and join as a new energy. So they have created a lot of platforms that they create some yoga, some of the training programs, schools online. Is to keep on busy their mind so that talents should not be talent mind should not be destroyed like this. So political, legal environment, social environment, then demographic environment, technology, all of the areas are really affect what the business also, and to do the HRD work in a proper way. So these all are, I cannot say these all are hindering things. It has happened and it will be there. Within this, our we as a learner, as a employee, as organizers, our focus should be how best we can do it, how best we can do it, and keeping on the situation, how to reduce the stress levels. Basically, the stress management is here one of the main things, and how to keep the some of the backup money or backup situation, so that when the contingency will be there, and how to manage these things. That is the basically emergency. So okay, I think now this part is over. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.